Hello, my name is Ruben Gurung, and I am reading Cyril Wong's Practical Aim, starting from If My Lover. If my lover forgets to wake me with a kiss a second time this week, should I worry? The solitude offers strength over time, or is denial of it the only practical aim? After the earthquake, would it matter if no one saw two dogs from different families approaching each other without suspicion, then moving apart? As the workers wash their faces hidden by helmets that beam back the sun, should they care about the new building behind them beyond the fear of it falling? If my mother cannot see how else to be happy, is it enough that she may lie in bed, convinced God watches her sleep? After deep loss, what does the heart learn that it has not already understood about regret? When all light finally forsakes a room, do we take the time to interrogate the dark? And to what end? So, basically, my thesis is that nihilism or nihilistic existentialism and the meaning of life and poetry are interconnected. You cannot understand one without the other. So you cannot understand nihilism without understanding meaning of life and poetry, and you can't understand meaning of life without poetry and nihilism. So yeah, basically. Um, the one thing I want to focus on is the last stanza. Of course, throughout the whole poem, it talks about different themes, but the last stanza talks about mortality and death and how finite our life is. So our lives are. So that's one topic I want to talk about. And the reason why is because the end is pretty special. The reason why, two reasons, is that the main verb is different throughout the whole, is different. Throughout the whole poem, the main verb is always a mental verb. For example, care, matter, lie, sometimes maybe. So yeah. But in this stanza or in this sentence, the main verb is take the time. Do you take the time to interrogate the dark? To interrogate this yin and yang situation? Like throughout the whole poem, it's always have this yin and yang situation. So yeah. Another thing is that there's two questions actually. Do we take the time to interrogate the dark, or and to what end? Those are two separate questions. And the last thing is that there's always this lingering, and because there's jump back, there's two questions, but throughout the whole poem, it's always asking one question. But why in the last sentence, it's asking two questions, and I'll explain. And the last thing, why I want to focus and to what end, is because there's always this lingering effect with this poem. It always uses alliteration, punctuation, or line breaks to make you feel like what you're reading at the end is so important, something that you need to focus on. And it's the reason why I want to read the last lingering effect of the last sentence. So, just to focus on the word choices of the last sentence, it says to what end? Throughout the whole poem, it's been asking you questions here and there, but there's no really answer. And even in the last line, it asks you another question, and to what end? Is there an end to your questions? And what Cyril Wong is trying to say, I guess, or well, that's what I interpret, is that there is no answer to your questions. There is no answer to the questions of life that you have, you know, throughout the poem, it talks about different themes about life, about like maybe love, mortality, law, grievances, stuff like that, and it doesn't leave you with an answer. So don't have an answer for this. You don't have an answer for this poem. You don't have an answer for the meaning of life. So don't have an answer. There is no end. So why should you take the time to interrogate the dark? So therefore, I think that this poem is a nihilistic poem about the understanding of the meaning of life and also poetry, because, yeah, thank you.